Hi there, my name's Michael. I'm just going to be recording my action learning plan for DLDG at UTS and just taking you through step by step my action or the strategies I took, the learning experiences that I had, and how that has impacted as terms of a learning experience, how that has impacted how I will see education, or I see education moving in the business studies economic space in the next 5 to 10 years. So my drivers that I picked were collaboration and student autonomy. The particular sector of that I picked was teacher-directed collaboration or networked collaboration. And my idea, I suppose, or technology-enhanced learning scenario was that we would, in 5 to 10 years' time in the business studies economic space, be using online collaboration programs, in this particular case, Slack and Zoom, which I've picked as being two of the key programs and I've actually used, to live link and connect with businesses to create real-time scenarios to sort of bring that relevance to the classroom. I put their company delegates share real-time scenarios and problems, and then they are able to share scenarios and solutions with the kids. The kids being able to present solutions to the company and also being able to have these designated online collaborators from the companies who can become active and chime into class discussions in real time using these particular digital software and programs. So I think obviously part of that is that we have to have that teacher-directed sector to that when we're talking about collaborating with businesses for classwork. So with that in mind, I jump to the next one there. So engaging real businesses in real time using Slack and Zoom. So I suppose my learning experience was 2-in-1 with this. I utilised the program Slack. I'd been exposed to it prior, however, hadn't really got too in depth with how it could be used as a tool for collaborating in the classroom space. Also, on the left-hand side there, you'll see that it says apps. Part of the Slack program now is that you can add internal apps like calendars so that you can give people notifications, keep people up to date. One of those apps is Zoom, which we've used in DLDG before, effectively like a Skype tool, but it's a really effective video conferencing tool. So I've used Zoom and Slack here to collaborate with a business owner, and that was the second part of my learning journey in terms of content. Is speaking to a young gentleman who is the CMO, so the Chief Marketing Officer for JAR Aerospace. They're recent school graduates and university graduates working in the education and military drone space. They have a really, really keen interest in collaborating with schools. I just wanted to get Lockie's idea. Lachlan Burke is the CMO there. I wanted to get his thoughts, one, using the program, but two, also his thoughts on how that we might go about interacting with schools. So I might play a couple of minutes of this video. I'm going to make the whole video available on YouTube, and Annie, I will send that through to you as well so you can watch the whole video should you want to, but I thought I might break down one or two little parts of it here. So I'll just click play and watch for a little bit.
Okay, so I'm just here on my 2019 Slack, my DLDG test channel over here. I've got a direct invite out to Lockie, who's one of the guys that I'll be collaborating with on this. I'm just going to click on the Zoom meeting that I've got as part of Slack. Hopefully it should jump up and run, and Lockie should be waiting for me there, I believe. Awesome. Computer audio is fine. There we go. Lockie, you there?
Yeah, you there?
Hey mate, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Mate, not too bad at all. Have you got your camera up and running?
What's going on?
Have you got your camera up and running?
Yeah, I'll just
There we go. Perfect.
There we are.
Great success. So, Lockie, thank you very much, firstly, for taking the time. I'm recording my screen on my side so that I can use this to use as a bit of evidence to show what we're doing with technology and digital learning. So, Lox, what I might get you to do first, if you could, just introduce yourself, your company, and your role in the company.
Yeah, no worries. So, my name's Lockie Burke. I studied economics at UTS. I started up a company 2 years ago now, where we were looking at the drone market at the time, and we were trying to address some issues that we saw in the safety and reliability of unmanned systems on the commercial and recreational market. So we started up a company called JAR Aerospace, started building drones out of our garage, as all good startups do, and moved on, partnered up with the University of New South Wales, and then over the last 2 years, we've kind of had a pretty interesting startup story journey. We now employ 20 staff members, and we have a prototyping facility, prototyping and manufacturing facility in Caringbah, which is south of Sydney Airport. We're the largest sponsor of the University of New South Wales Advanced Manufacturing and Composites Centre, and we have an office also at UNSW now, and also one in Brisbane and one in Melbourne. My role, I'm the CMO, so I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. But I think apart from running marketing, sales, business development, and government relations, I think something we'll get to in this is that in a startup you kind of learn to play a few different roles. But yeah, so it kind of spills over into operations as well, I guess. And awesome. I think most important thing is that everybody obviously as a director, has a pretty good understanding of finances.
Awesome. Well, so that's probably where this comes into play, mate. So this is actually not necessarily content specific right now, but basically the subject that we're doing at the moment, or finishing off the university for our Masters of Teaching it.
So I'll make that full video available online. I just want to also highlight the live chat and discussion forums features of Slack and Zoom. This is a short just idea of how we might go about having these live discussions with students in class and being able to sort of collaborate.
Workforce, and you don't have people coming out of university and high school with that sort of disruptive and innovative understanding of technology. So it's a must. There's really no arguing that. And you can see that shift happening. You can see many of the big players moving towards it. I mean, the only reason we got involved in education is because we'd hired 8 people at the time, and it was really hard for us to find the right people who understood unmanned systems. And because it's obviously an emerging technology, there weren't a lot of people who knew what was going on. And so we thought we're going to have to start teaching people about this, because if we're serious about what our vision and our mission is, and our vision, we want to be in space in the next 10 years. So if we're going to do that, we're going to need to start teaching the younger generation. And I mean, that's why we're in education. Education makes us no money. We just do it because we know that if we can get a few smart kids coming out of it and keen to work for JAR I think next year will be the first time we've got a JAR education student coming to work for JAR Aerospace, so that'll be unreal. He's finishing his HS.
There you go. So just a little bit of a live chat there on the right-hand side. So what did I learn? So based on the findings from the Australian Education Technology Trends 2018, I focused heavily on trending areas of collaboration, project-based learning and blended learning environments, and where we may see these trends embed themselves in our classroom in the not-too-distant future. Using the TPAC lens, I was able to learn a few things about the technology itself and reflect on how we approach technologies in the past in the hopes of making a better informed plan as to how we might approach them in the future. For business studies, the use of case study material is forever one that changes and challenges teachers as we try to develop the students' ability to navigate marketing, human resources, operations, and the financial aspects of the HSC program. It's with this in mind, I guess, that I focused on the vision that schools will look to use technologies like these to engage businesses in the learning process, and more specifically connecting them with using new technologies and programs to create collaborative online learning environments. These obviously being able to focus on real and relevant case studies in real time. So why was my learning, or how was my learning significant? If we acknowledge that programs like Slack and Zoom are as powerful or useless as we want them to be, we need to find a way to make programs work effectively for us. We need to identify areas of our syllabus that they work well with and seek to implement these in ways that they are structured and functional. Making the content work with the program is our next step in that. For business studies teachers, this will initially be working with case studies and being able to bring relevance to the classroom in real time. We know that digital natives expect answers immediately because that is what they've come to expect from technology. So being able to provide them with this ultimately will improve, I hope improve the quality of the content students are exposed to. I suppose as well, we need to not just learn from our previous mistakes by implementing technologies, we do need to learn from our previous mistakes with implementing technology in the classroom and try and stay one step ahead. It's no longer enough to be reactive in the classroom sphere, and we need to be proactive in understanding the way in which children learn using technology. Teachers must be prepared to step outside their comfort zone here and find ways to use the features of technology and programs like Slack and Zoom to create pedagogy that works for them in a new setting. My learning journey made me think critically about these things and using the TPAC lens as a way of breaking down how we might go about preparing ourselves for what learning might look like in the business studies domain in 2025. So what's next? In my opinion, based on my learning experience, I'm very, very confident that we need to look to be collaborating with programmers. I know Google has obviously come to the table with Google Classroom, but there are plenty of Australian-based and internationally located program operators like Slack, like Zoom, that I think are really prepared to come to the table when we talk about education. So I think it's really important that we get in the door with these programming companies and look to create and design programs that work in our space and that will work for us in the way we want them to work. The next step is obviously networking with the businesses and finding businesses that are prepared to invest their time, companies like JAR that see value in education for them. In order for them to put their market on the map in terms of drones and these new technologies that are coming out, to put them on the map, they need the best quality candidates coming from our education facilities. So that includes schools and universities, but for them it starts at school, and that means that we need to network with businesses that see value in educating our students and being involved with our students' learning programs so that when they step out the doors of school and into university, they are one step ahead of not just their peers, but the rest of the world, so that we can be on the forefront, our businesses can be on the forefront of these new technologies and new businesses. And last but not least, I think it's really important that we go back down to the school level and look at incorporating a framework that we work within to make these programs work for us. And that is, if we are going to use programs like Slack, like Zoom, and collaborate with businesses, there needs to be a framework in place so that we are sticking to some form of track and not getting sidetracked or potentially losing students in this big digital collaboration space and losing them with the content as well. We need to sort of have some structured framework there that keeps them guided and make sure that we are ticking outcomes boxes and learning boxes as we go. That's pretty much it. That was my action learning plan. Amazing to use that technology first time around, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I've just popped a last resources page in here just to show some of the resources that I have used in sort of informing my action learning plan in terms of how I see it playing out in the next 10 to 5 to 10 years. Thank you.